Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. A talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Adolph Dagan. Now we're going to be discussing his incredible book, Why Have I Chosen Jesus Christ Over My Father's Voodoo? People, I'm telling you, much more than an enticing title. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places. But check out his personal website, adolphdagan.com. There, gather more information on him, on his book, hyperlinks set up to take you to the purchasing pages. Check back in frequently because there's more books on the horizon. I'm telling you, it's a one-stop shop. Again, that's adolphdagan.com. And I quickly want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that he was brought to us by Author Reputation Press. So for writers out there listening in who have gone through their process and now you need some assistance moving the book you just developed, head on over to authorreputationpress.com and gather all the ways that their team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is a true pleasure to have Adolph here on the line. People, strap in, man. Like I mentioned, this discussion, this book, is much more than just a compelling title. Yeah, but first and foremost, man, it's a compelling title, all right? It's going to have you stopping in your tracks and wanting to explore further. You see, this is a memoir, and we are going to be talking about a choice that would ultimately define a lifetime. See, imagine being groomed since birth to inherit a sacred ancient power, only to ultimately walk away from it entirely. Okay, we'll enter our guest today because that's exactly the position he found himself in. Adolph was chosen heir to his father's voodoo priesthood, but that wasn't his calling. He walked away from it, and this memoir is a gripping story of identity, of faith, and really how to survive in two separate worlds. I'm telling you, people, this is going to be one you're going to want to add to your shelf. Adolph, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today, man?
Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Benji Cole, for having me. It's a great honor.
Adolph, listen, man, the pleasure is all ours. We're looking forward to this discussion. I think what you've put here in this book is remarkably compelling, but listen, it's your memoir, right? So it's clearly a direct depiction of your life, of your journey, of your faith walk. But it really is something that I think is going to be relatable to everyone, because underneath all of that specificity is the message of choice, right? Is the message of following your own path to be who you were destined to be. And that is something we could all relate to, man. Whether we find ourselves following in Christianity, in voodoo, or something else entirely, it is such a human and universal aspect. And that's what I love, man. And we're going to dive into it. Let's start off first and foremost. Tell us a little bit more about your book.
Again, thank you, Benji Cole. My name is Adolph Dagan. In America, they call me Adolph Dagan. And born and raised in Togo, in a little village called Daganhui. So my father, Ayena Dagan, and my mother, they loved me so much. And in the culture, as I was the last boy, and my father went through a lot in his life. So he was looking for protection. So it was a voodoo that he got for his protection. I respect his choice. So me, I thought I would go to school to become a medical doctor or a lawyer. So when the time came, I was 5 years old. We didn't even have any elementary school in my village. We got to walk, go to another village for 2-3 kilometers, 2 miles. And That day in the morning, I will never forget. I took shower. He said, "Where you going?" I said, "Father." Usually I call him Ada. Ada, I'm going to school. He said, "No, you're not going to school. You're going to stay home because you're going to take care of my voodoo. I'm start growing up." I said, "No, I want to go to school." And he said, "No, I respect really well my parents." And I start crying. I stay home. I didn't go to school that year. So the second year, I was 6 years old. So the same scenario. He said, "No." All right, it was in September. And unfortunately, in February, he got killed by witches and wizards in the village. So that's where things changed around. And I asked my mom, so how come the power, the spirit of the voodoo, will not protect my father from being killed? And my mom said that because those witches and wizards, they were able to pull the power from the spirit of voodoo. It was weird to me. And I said, wow. So if those people can have more power sometimes and were able to kill my father, and my father was not able to be protected by voodoo, so me, I will never worship that voodoo.
Yeah.
I made my mind clearly. I told my mother, me, I will start going to church. And we had a Presbyterian church in my village. So I started going to church. And I waited for a few months to go to school. That was in September 1981. And I was 7 years old. So my birthday was in July 20th. So that's the way I turned myself to Jesus. And sometimes we might think that it's by chance. No, because God may chose me from my father's womb. God had a plan, another plan for me, while my father had another plan. So it's so horrible. And you know what? I always tell people to be careful about spirits they worship because they're going to follow the generations. Followed us, we are in the family, blocking the way this side. I start getting sick and a lot of stuff. So that book needs to be read by everyone. But one thing I want to mention here to see is one time I was like around 15 years old, but I dreamed that I saw myself back in the village in the night. And then I saw a big python, serpent. And the head was the head of a dog and big tongue. And then was following me and tried to catch me and devour me. And every time I talk about this, it reminds me John 10:10, when the enemy come to steal, destroy, kill. So how I can run more or faster than a serpent if it's not a miracle? But guess what, my friend Benji called? The name of Jesus was coming out from my mouth in the dream. And I was saying the name in my language, Yesu, because my language is Aja in Togo. So Yesu means Jesus. And with that name in my mouth was a driven power that it took me faster from the devil to be killed. So when I woke up, I knew that Jesus is alive. I knew that God I'm worshiping is real. It's the most powerful one to choose. So I went through a lot, and the book related everything till I came to America. So let me stop it here to see if you have any questions for me.
I do. Listen, man, I have a lot of questions. Thank you very much. Okay, so we know about your journey now. Okay. What inspired the creation of this book? That could have easily stayed your personal story that you just verbally told those around you. Why did you take it to
Yes,
this extent to publish the book?
exactly. That's a good question. You know that most of people, like everybody, is going through something, and they need encouragement, they need inspiration, they need prayers, they need like anything that can help them keep going. And even to know that we can pray and overcome a lot of challenges. So let me tell you that since I was little, I love God. I was singing in the adult choir. I did a lot. But after my high school diploma, it was really hard for me. I was praying and fasting, and one night I asked God, "What do you want me to do? I need a peace in my life." And in the night, I dreamed that God called me. I was preaching in front of a big crowd. So I know, God called me to be evangelist. But I didn't want to be called evangelist or pastor or whatever, because I don't like asking people to give money for this and that. But when I work for God, yes, I need the money. I wanted to have money and then support God's mission. That was my key. So now I became really evangelist with Assembly of God Church. And I said, okay, every time I preach or I speak, okay, my story is a living story that I want to share with people to encourage them, to tell them that life is not easy. And especially in America, where we have a lot of benefits, and the way we interpret the Bible here sometimes doesn't align with the reality. People are falling down, dying. People are getting destroyed by devil. But living in developing countries where even to eat is not easy. So I want to share my story to tell that the reality is this: devil has power to destroy, but God has the most power to save. But we cannot cross our arms. We need to pray. We need to run from the sins. And my story is a living story. It's no longer, I know we read about Job, about David, everybody in the Bible, but myself, talking to you right now, I am a living testimony. It touched people. It changed their life. People buy the book, they call me, say, Adolph, I just read your book. I start crying. I didn't know God is still helping today. So, Mr. Benji, I was really touched to share my story with people to help them. I don't want to keep it for myself. I want to share this with people that they still have hope. Hope is still there. Hope is still there. Help them to pray a lot. Run from the sin. The sin is destroying the people today. You hear people say Jesus was dead, he went to cross, and then the sin is this and that. That's true. But we got to understand something. If the sin doesn't destroy today, devil will go to hide himself somewhere. Sin is still destroying countries, families, schools. So I share my testimony, I tell the truth, and then people who listen to my stories, they change a lot. God help them to change.
Adolph, listen, man, thank you. And people, I'm going to say it one more time. Right? It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's adolphdagan.com. Head on over there, purchase your copies today. My next question that I'm curious about, and I want you to go into a little bit more. So far, we've been discussing your journey, your spiritual journey, right? Through the voodoo that was being taught there in your village by your father to you moving towards Christianity. But of course, your book is a memoir. So there's a lot more to it. It's not just about your faith and your spiritual journey. Talk to us now a little bit more about your migration to the United States and the hardships that you endured. And I guess if we're connecting it to the spiritual side, do you look at some of the hardships that you experienced coming to the States as maybe another form of attack, as another form of voodoo that was placed on you? And I could be reaching there, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you, my friend Benji. Honestly, we got to be careful about what we call Satan or devil or all those, because those spirits are so strong.
Yeah.
They are so strong, and even if you come to Jesus, it's not easy to be delivered. It's not easy to get rid of them. I'm not saying it's impossible. I say it's not easy. We got to be honest and practical. So when me, for example, I start going to church, I know the Spirit of God came upon me, and then I love praying. I love, fasting a little bit, because Presbyterian, we didn't fast a lot. I start getting sick, all those, because the Spirit will put this on you. And after high school diploma, I went to university in Lomé, Togo, and I became a student of law school. And after 2 years, I had okay, they failed me. That's the way I would say it. They failed me, and I didn't have money to keep going to school. And then I stopped. That was in 2000. I hear about lottery visa. I don't know if you know about that DVA program. So when it's something you play like a lottery. So my time, we take a piece of paper, they print it, and then we fill out the paper we send here into Kentucky, and they're going to select whoever, and after that you go to interview. They're going to find out if you have a high school diploma or you have any special skill, and they're going to give you a visa to come or not. So mine, when I try first, okay, it didn't come. I tried second, and I didn't know that I won. So the day at the end of the school, they failed me, and I cried that night. I cried a lot. I said, God, I am alone to have high school diploma in my family. So I have brothers and sisters, their children, they're waiting on me to help them. So what I will do. And that night, I dreamt that I came to a place, a country that they called America or United States of America. And I saw a car, Jeep Explorer. I saw women, men, white and black together. They get out from the car and they came back from church. I said, wow. I woke up. I said, God, you want to bring me to America? I didn't know that I won. I was selected, but devil blocked my answer. Like when they send the paperwork, it went to another PO box in Togo. Instead of 7, they put to 4 somewhere, and things changed. So they were looking for me, but they could not find me. So every time I dreamed that I am in Illinois, when I came there, that's where I find the places for my ESL school, for my clinic, like where I went for my health stuff. I saw all in dream, even where I worked, sizing fresh meat or military. I joined military. I saw all. I have a store now, Dagan African Market. I saw everything in the dream, but I was still in Togo. So that lottery visa, I lost it for 13 months, Mr. Benji.
Wow.
13 months. Miraculously, me and my friend, Pastor Emmanuel Koku Mausi, he helped me, and then we prayed and for the whole night, every night for 7 days. And at that time, I was a school teacher, middle school teacher in private school in Togo. We're going to pray all night. In the morning, I will go to teach. It was not easy. Brothers, the life is not easy. It's not easy. But guess what? After that, I find my paperwork. So everybody said, oh, you cannot do anything because everything expired except one paper said supplementary enregistrement. When I find it today, Sunday, 29th of August, so tomorrow, 30th of August, will be the last day for that. How my paperwork can be in America that day? How? Because you have to translate everything. I'm from Togo, right? And then every paper was in French for us, like my birth certificate, everything. You have to translate everything in English. So somebody who will help you, it will take days, even weeks. But you know what? Faith. Faith that can move mountains. Faith that can move or split, I will say, Red Sea. Let me tell you something. Before I find it, I dreamed that I am in front of a river. You know what God did? God didn't split it, but I walked on that river to cross it. That means what the devil put in front of me, it was a river. A lot of people who listen to me right now, things are not going well because the devil has put something in front of you. It might be mountain, it might be river, it might be something, and then your life is there turning you around till you might die, till you might have divorce, till you might lose a job, everything going on. And a lot of people, they don't know that. So we got to share this and pray for them.
Listen, Adolph, this is such a powerful thing that you've done here, man. It's much more than just a memoir. Because people, listen, what I'm taking from this, what this has shown you're not trapped by your past. You're not trapped by your lineage or even your current struggle. This is proof. His life is proof. And if you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, allow this conversation to be your sign to come closer to whatever the next step of hope is for you. But it starts with this book, man. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's AdolphDagan.com. Head on over there, purchase your copies today and get started. Adolph, this has been a true pleasure, man. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benji Call. It's my pleasure. It's a great pleasure.